Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another Flash Season 2 video. And in this video we're going to be going through who Zoom could be in Season 2 of The Flash. Now we've seen Episode 1 of The Flash, pretty good. We got introduced to Jay Garrick properly, I guess you could say, at the end of the episode. And in Episode 2 we're going to be introduced to Zoom, and that's due to a little trailer, like a little sneak peek thing that sort of came out. I will leave it linked in the description below. You can go check it out. We actually get to see Zoom talking and a bit of Zoom. He's blurred out obviously, but it's a close-up, not crap quality picture of him or video of him, so go check that out, and it looks pretty cool. But we're going to be discussing who Zoom could be in Season 2. Now there's 3 choices that I have. There could be more, but it's really dependent on what your opinion is. Now I'll go through my 3 choices now. The first one is just Hunter Zolomon, who is Zoom in the comics. Now, a lot of the debate will be Wally West really needs to be in it to drive Hunter Zolomon's story, and I sort of agree with that, but I do see what the show could do to change that. It could make it that Jay Garrick is the one that interacts with Hunter Zolomon. That was the one that denied Hunter Zolomon that opportunity and forced him to become Zoom. I can see that happening, but really, if that doesn't happen, I don't think they could do Hunter Zolomon. I think that unless they really want to change the story too much. The next one is Edward Clarice, who is actually, I guess you could say, the reverse Flash of Jay Garrick in the comics, and he's known as the Rival. And my choice for this is, or my reason behind this, is the fact that he sort of does have that Zoom feel, just due to the fact that he has like the blue around him. In regards to his look, he looks exactly like Jay Garrick, except with blue around him. He's like a doppelganger almost. So he's obviously not going to be that in the show, as what you've seen if you've watched that video. But the blue sort of gives away, like people are saying, it could be like a cross between Hunter Zolomon, Eddie Thawne, and Edward Clarice, but I don't know. And as you said, my last one is Eddie Thawne. I just spoiled it a bit, but yeah, Eddie Thawne, and we'll go through it. So I said Hunter Zolomon, just due to the fact that it is Zoom in the comics. Now, you don't know the difference between Zoom and Professor Zoom, and in that case, it's like the Earbud Thawne reverse Flash and the Hunter Zolomon reverse Flash. I've done a video on that. I'll leave it annotated in one of the corners right now. You can go check that out if you want to know the difference between the two. But in regards to Edward Clarice, as I said before, he sort of looks like the Zoom. He sort of looks like Zoom, sorry, in regards to like the blue around him. But really, I think it just takes too much explaining, I think, and also changing, because he's the Rival, but now they're going to make him Zoom. I don't think they'd do that. And my last choice was Eddie Thawne, obviously. And I'll go into a bit more detail as to why Eddie Thawne could be Zoom, sorry. Now, Zoom will be voiced by Tony Todd, but that's just his voice. He's not going to be actually playing Zoom, because I think it'll be a bit weird. Tony Todd's a big dude, but he's not going to be playing him in regards to his actual physique, so he'll just be the voice. So there's going to be someone else who's actually under the actual suit, who's going to be probably the biggest mystery of the season. He probably won't get revealed to like maybe the last 4, maybe last 3 episodes. But due to the fact that we don't know anything, as I said, everything I said before is just literally speculation. Now, I think everyone would have to agree that Eddie Thawne died a hero at the end of Season 1. He stopped Earbud Thawne. Earbud Thawne was about to kill the Flash. He was the one that killed and stopped Earbud Thawne from doing any more damage. Now, I guess you could say this was a bit of a shock. I don't think a lot of people saw this coming, just due to the fact that his last name was Thawne. I think a lot of people thought that maybe, due to the fact of his last name being Thawne, it would actually set up something later in the show. And that is actually not being killed off due to the fact that we're talking about him possibly coming Zoom in Season 2. Now, one thing that actually pushes forward the fact that he could become Zoom is the fact that when he did die, his body wasn't taken out. He wasn't given a funeral. He's given a sort of an ambiguous ending, I guess you could say, just due to the fact that his body was sucked up into that singularity, and like the Flash could have easily picked him up and taken him out, and we could have obviously given him a proper funeral, but he wasn't given that opportunity. His fate was left ambiguous, as I said before. He was allowed to be sucked up into that Speed Force, and it seems like a setup. It doesn't seem like, oh, there's Eddie, that's it, he's been sucked up into the Speed Force, he's probably going to get ripped apart up there. No, I think it's more of a setup. Now, one thing that a lot of people agree on is that it would be a bit unrealistic or a bit unbelievable if Eddie came out with Zoom as just completely evil, due to the fact that he's a pretty nice guy in Season 1. But when it comes down to it, there's literally, you can't tell exactly what would have happened to his body and maybe even his mind when he got sucked up into that Speed Force. But you got to also remember that Jay Garrick has some interaction with Zoom beforehand. Like, there is a skip ahead in time, and maybe that's the interaction enough that Jay Garrick knows how deadly Zoom is. But it matters how long Zoom's been running around Jay Garrick's Earth 2, or whatever you want to call it, because that really determined whether it will be Eddie or not. But as you would have noticed in this video, we've been asking way too many questions without too many answers, but that's what it is. There's just too many questions but not enough answers. But I think a lot of people will be happy and if Eddie was to return to the show. And I think the show needs a lot of surprise. I think we're going to be getting a lot of surprises. Like in season 1 we got a lot of surprises, so I think in season 2 they didn't match that. I think Eddie coming back, Zoom would be pretty cool if he came back as Zoom, but it really matters on how long Zoom's been terrorizing Earth 2, because we really got to wait for J-Gag to explain that. And if he says it's been a longer time than when Eddie was sucked up, then obviously it's not Eddie. But let's cross our fingers. Hopefully Eddie Thawne comes back in some way, shape or form. It'll be interesting to see how he comes back. But the one thing that we can keep certain as whoever Zoom may be, his origin story is going to be really hard to, like, it's not going to be a simple one, I guess you could say. It's going to be pretty hard to understand. It's going to be a lot of twists and turns. So it's something to look forward to, I guess. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, leave any comments on who you think Zoom will be. It could be any of the ones I said, or it could be someone completely different in your opinion. And if you're new out here, subscribe for more. I'll catch you later, guys. Goodbye.